It rained like hell on Monday, but it's been beautiful. Always got to worry about a little thunder bumper that falls through. And Scotty Scheffler trying to win a third jacket. A lot of defending champions a part of it. It is just unbelievable what they do at Augusta National. And Hall of Famer and a great friend of the show, Lee Trevino, joins us. Paul, Craig, and I'm David Smoke on 365 Sports. How you been, buddy?
Hey, Dave. How you doing?
We're doing well. You've been a busy man, have you not?
Yeah, I've been pretty busy. As a matter of fact, tomorrow I do the lunching, the big sporting lunching tomorrow with the guy from the ticket down at the NFL here in Dallas. So we have a big luncheon tomorrow. But then I just got back from Boca Raton, and then I've been all over the place. And I've got three more travels I've got to do. I won't be finished until about June 10th. Yeah.
Lee, who among the veteran golfers, when you joined the tour and then started to make a name for yourself, who probably gave you the most or time or advice to try to help you in any way?
Well, as a matter of fact, isn't that funny that you asked that, because I just got a message a couple of days ago, Gary Player celebrating his 90th birthday. So they wanted me to do a little tape. And I put it in there because the first time I met him was right around 1968. I wasn't a very good bunker player. I learned at Tennyson Park, as you well know, here in Dallas, and it had no bunkers on it, so I didn't know how to get out of a bunker. As a matter of fact, I didn't even have a sand wedge. I had an 11 iron and a McGregor 11 iron, and I used to get out of bunkers with that thing. I wasn't very good with it, but I didn't take any chances. And I asked J.C. Sneed when I got out there. I said, J.C., who's the best bunker player here? I need to see if you'll give me some advice. He said, there's two. He said, Chichi Rodriguez and Gary Player. And I ran into Gary Player, and he was gracious enough to spend some time with me in the bunker. And I became a pretty damn good bunker player, and hadn't lost that touch either since then. But he was very good at it. I mean, one of the best I've ever seen. I mean, it's just unbelievable. But we did a tape. I can't go through the tape, but I did about a 3-minute rendition. I mean, it was funny as hell. It was funny. Yeah.
So Gary Player's 90 now,
yeah,
right?
He just said he's turning 90.
Yeah, he's at 90.
He's going to turn 90. You got to understand one thing about Gary Player. The one thing that I appreciate, that I really loved about him is he's not as tall as I am. and I'm only and I'm stretching 5'7", you know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. And he came over to this country when he was young. He came over right around 1960, 59. And he went against Palmer and Nicklaus and all those guys. I mean, he was in the Atlanta Giants. And this guy won 9 major championships and 200 tournaments around the world. But the most impressive thing that he did was he won the U.S. Open in St. Louis, I believe it was, in 1965. And he won with a set of Shakespeare clubs, which were fiberglass shafts. They wasn't even steel shafts. He was playing with glass. And he won that tournament, and he won $25,000. And he gave the money to the USGA for the junior program. Now, that's unbelievable. Yeah.
Yeah, that's giving back to the game. No question about it. You've done that quite a bit with everything you've done.
Oh yeah, sure.
What would your body be like if you swung as hard as Bryson DeChambeau?
Oh no, I'd have been dead. I'd have been a hot dog. Hell, I'd have done screwed myself in the ground. I mean, come on. This guy, he trained at the National on Tuesdays. He comes out and he gets in the bin there, and he trains for speed. And we were testing him. We had all the monitors on the wall, and we're looking at it. And he's hitting a 3-wood, and his ball speed was 192 with a 3-wood. And we have to get everybody else. The driving range is over 300 yards deep, and it's going north-south. So if you're hitting off the north side, where we have the bin, he's hitting against the wind. And there was a little bit of a wind against him from the south. And we wouldn't let anyone go back there to hit balls because he was flying the ball over the practice tee on the other side.
It is insane what he does. There are trees down, as you know, Lee, at Augusta National. And some of them, for example, on the dog leg left on number 10, where it was intimidating. Even on 3, which is a short par 4, that some guys, the way it is now, they could just blow it up there, but they were worried about going off to the right. But there's some trees down. How much does that affect perhaps this weekend?
Check out my go-to polo from Flag and Anthem. It's everything you want in a golf polo, but you can wear it at a dinner, to a barbecue, whatever your plans are. It's extremely soft, super comfortable. Check it out, flagandanthem.com.
Listen, you can talk about trees down. They had 200 people there the next day after that hurricane.
Yeah.
And they put, not only did they put those trees back, they added. You know, that's been the big knock with Augusta all these years. It's gorgeous. It's a hell of a tournament. And what makes it so beautiful is the flowers and the gallery, because the gallery is the one that gives you the definition of the hole. If you go there when the gallery's not there and there's no flowers, it's not really that pretty. You understand? Because it's wide open. You know, like 18 and 9. It's just a big pasture is all it is. There's no trees. You know, once you hit the tee ball on 18, there's no more trees to the right or the left or behind. And once you hit the tee shot on 9, there's no more trees on the left or the right or behind. So it's kind of an open area. You see what I'm saying?
Yes, sir.
And when the gallery's not there to define the fairway, and it just looks like a green field with 2 sticks sticking up in the air, you know, for the flag. But what it does, what this tournament has more than anything, is it's got a tremendous amount of tradition. I mean, the first tournament was in 1934, and the club was being built in 1932, and they've had this thing forever and ever and ever. And I don't think there's ever I don't know of any other golf tournament that's ever had the prestige and the viewing and that this particular tournament has. The only tournament that they'll have more viewing audience than this tournament this week is the Ryder Cup.
Oh yeah.
The Ryder Cup has more viewing audience than anybody, than any tournament. But Augusta will be shown in every country in the world. Yeah, it's unbelievable, and they've done a hell of a job with it. It's a beautiful spot. Yeah.
The United States dominated, and we know the history of the Ryder Cup. Lee, you saw it. Yeah. You know it. And it's just, and then, of course, European golf, when Seve came in and brought a toughness and others. Yeah. Do you think is it something you have to lose before you appreciate it more if you've dominated it, like USA and basketball at the Olympic Games? Is it something, do you feel like they're getting that back?
Well, I'll tell you what the problem is. In my opinion, this is just my opinion only, and a lot of people don't know this, and I'll explain it to you. The Ryder Cup doesn't belong to the Tour. The Ryder Cup belongs to the PGA. And the PGA bars 12 players to play for them. The money goes to them, PGA, not the Tour. And where this agreement came from was when they split in 1969. I was in on those meetings. And the Tour wanted to go on their own, and the PGA owned the Tour at the time. They wanted to go on their own. And how we made this deal is we made an agreement that if the Tour could go on their own, if they would give us 12 of their best players every 2 years. No one knows this. It's not been printed and it's not been explained. So all the revenue and everything goes to the PGA of America, not the Tour. And now they're bucking a little bit. And the first time they wanted 100,000, and then they want 200,000. And now they want a little bit more. And we told them we'd give them a little bit more if we could if they gave it to charity. And I don't know where they're at with that now. But when we played, we spent most of the expenses we spent out of our own pocket. That's how proud we were to be a team. Golf is not a team sport. And when you can get on a team and have 11 of your guys with you, man, you can't wait to play. And that's how we felt. I mean, that was the first time that we were ever on a team. In other words, we were always beating each other up. But there's a lot of history. There's a lot of history behind that. And I don't know. Hopefully, I'm going I'm going to New York this year, being ex-captain, played 6 Ryder Cup. And I'm going to go up there and see what's going on. They have a hell of a captain. This Keegan Bradley is one nice, I'll tell you, he's a sweetheart of a guy. You'll never find it. He's the kind of guy that you'd want your daughter to marry. You know what I'm talking about? I mean, this guy is fabulous. And I think he's going to do a pretty good job. He's got a lot of respect from the players. But and then again, you have to understand, you can't take away with the European team being as good as they are. And I'll tell you what happened. The reason that we had the best of it, this has been going on since 1927. And the reason that we have the best of it is because those people over there in Great Britain, which we played against, only played 6 months a year. And then they were snowed in for 6 months a year. You see what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
We play year round. That's why we were better. I don't think that we're any better than they are as far as talent is concerned. We just spent more time at it. You understand what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
And this is one of the reasons. Now they've caught up. Now they've got tournaments over there, and it's a worldwide. If it's winter time in Britain, they've got tournaments in Australia. They got tournaments in Hong Kong and Singapore, and they travel South Africa, and stuff. So these players are playing year-round now, just like the Americans, and that's why it's gotten so tight. Yeah, no question about it.
You mentioned the respect to the players on the Ryder Cup. They've had different captains through the years that maybe that wasn't necessarily the case, and then you always have like little personality conflicts. Everybody's playing against each other, so not everybody's friends. You've got these competitions. What's the key in being the captain? It's not just being liked by everybody. Is he able to communicate with them maybe better than other people in the past because not only he's liked but respected as well?
Well, like you say, they're all individualists. They've never been on a team before, and you're right with them. You've never been a captain of one of those guys. It's like taking a squad of Marines into a battle. If you've never done it before, they're as lost as you are. And what happens is you try to communicate with them. It used to be that it was a 2-year deal now to qualify for the Ryder Cup. Now it's only 1 year. So you have 1 year if you know they're going to qualify to talk to them when you see them and try to get to know them a little bit better and try to get to see what their personality is like, what their dislikes are, and then whom they want to play with, who they're comfortable with. And this is what you try to do because you have the 4-ball, you have the alternate shot, and you got to put 2 guys that are together. You remember when Mickelson and Tiger played that year, and Mickelson hit him in the woods, and Tiger hit it over there, and they weren't speaking to each other. God dang. and the Europeans were over licking their lips. I mean, come on.
Yeah, I'm not so I would ever pair those two together. Maybe now that they have grown up a little bit, but back then, it doesn't make any difference. Age doesn't make a damn bit of difference. They don't like each other. They grew up together. They don't like each other. You understand what I'm saying? Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
You mentioned Gary Player came into the teeth of the great golfers in history, and there's different phases of that. You did too. And you won 6 majors. You won.
Yeah, but he won 9, and he's won over 200. But you have to understand who we played against,
Oh, yeah.
I mean, he played against them more than I did. Most of his majors were won before I went out there. He won his majors early. And I mean, that you got to take your hat off to this guy. I mean, he's a stretchy 1.7. 5.7 if he's that. He's in great shape. But he had a way of playing with a draw because he could hit it farther if he hooked the ball. I was stronger, Gary was 140 and I was 180. So I could move a little bit faster and block it. But when you're talking about the greatest, we talk about the GOAT all the time. We talk about Nicklaus, and he is the GOAT, But I don't know whether he was the best player. I think he was the best golfer. No question. He's the GOAT. He's won 18 major championships. Tiger might have been the best player. You know, Tiger won more tournaments by bigger margins than anybody that's ever done that. I mean, he won the U.S. Open by what, 12, 15 tournaments?
Mm-hmm.
Come on, that's crazy. He could have quit at 9. You know, he wouldn't have to play 18 holes the last day. But this is how you have to look at it. And people were talking about that. That's where I got that quote. He said the best player was probably Tiger, but the best golfer was Jack. And we call him the GOAT, and he's still the GOAT. And yeah, it's you know, it's a hard sport. And anybody that's listening to this program right now that plays this game, they will tell you it's a hard sport. They keep buying putters and drivers and irons, and they keep changing the grip and the stance, and they get worse. And they don't know. It's hard. It's a hard golf course because the reason this game is hard is because it's the elements has so much to do with it. And then where you play has something to do. I mean, a baseball field is a baseball field. I don't give a damn where you go. It's a baseball field. You know, a football field's a football field. Mm-hmm. Tennis court. You number one in tennis. If you play a hard court and you number one in tennis and hard court, you'll be number one for 15 years. But if you play golf, every course that you go to is different. Some holes are short, go to the right, different grasses. You know, is it raining? You go out early in the morning. Oh, it's a beautiful day. No, I'm going this afternoon. Oh, it's pouring rain this afternoon. But I played this morning. I shot 66, and you're out there soaking yourself, shooting 78 because you caught the wrong side of the tee. In other words, the time.
Yep.
No, this is the most frustrating game there is. This is why when you finish, we have 144 players that go that tour every year. There's in my heyday, at the end of the year, if 10 guys made a profit, you were lucky. Yeah.
10 players.
You were lucky. Oh, yeah. Yeah. There's no money. You have to pay your own way. You got to travel. You got to pay a caddy. You got to buy your own clothes back then. You have to drive your own car or fly. You had to pay your own what? I mean, to play golf today on the professional tour, it would take, if you have a family, a couple of kids and a wife, and you travel, and you have a caddy, it will cost you between $5,000 and $10,000 a week.
Just
and
to
there's
get
no
there.
guarantee you're going to win anything.
Yeah, and that's you got to make the cut. There are now some that they're automatic and they pay you no matter what. Paul, you have another question for Lee?
Yeah, Lee. You mentioned how challenging the game is and hard. You are a person that because of the way you are, I don't get that you've ever been intimidated by anything or anyone. But was it intimidating? Have you ever felt like, holy cow, this is a lot?
This game wasn't hard for me. I learned this game overnight. It was the easiest thing I've ever seen because I loved it. But you have to understand where I came from. I came off of a cotton farm. And let me tell you something. if you think golf was hard after you come off of a cotton farm, are you crazy? This is the easiest thing I've ever done. In other words, this is like opening up the Fort Knox and letting me take all the gold I want out of there.
Yep.
I mean, I couldn't wait to get up in the morning just to go make the money because I knew that I was that good, and I practiced and I practiced and I practiced. And I outworked everybody. Mr. Hogan did the same thing. That's what Mr. Hogan did. Mr. Hogan, I played golf with him. He didn't have a secret. He outworked everybody. You know, that's all he did. He just moved more dirt than anybody else, and then he got paid for it, you know. I did the same thing. I just worked day and night. I mean, I would find a driving range at night and then go hit balls till 11 o'clock when I was playing on tour. I might hit putts till 2 a.m. on the carpet. You know, I did it day in, day out, day in. I've traveled the world numerous times. I've never seen anything but the hotel, the airport, and the golf course. And I've never seen anything else.
Yeah, and back to the airport. Lee, you grew up and you didn't have much money at all, and you'd go caddy?
Money.
Or you
We didn't even know. We didn't even know what the hell that was.
What money? So were putts early on when you would get into a group and no one they got to learn about you pretty quickly? A 4-foot putt for $1 or a putt to win a tournament, did that help you later on?
Oh yeah, no question. I was a fast gun until 1965. Nobody knew nothing about me. 1965, 1966. I worked at a driving range in Dallas. You heard the story. That's when the gamblers brought Raymond Floyd to El Paso to play me.
Mm-hmm.
Raymond had won a tournament, and I was hired by a guy to go out there and play. And I beat another pro pretty bad. And then I came back home, and then all of a sudden, all the old bookmakers from Dallas found out that they had a lot of money out in El Paso betting against me, and they knew me from Dallas, and they didn't think I was that good. So they went out there and talked to this guy and asked him if they brought a player out there, would they bet? Would they bet on me? And the guy says, "Yeah, bring him on. I don't care who you bring." And the guy said, "Well, we want to bring Raymond Floyd." He said, "Bring him on." Well, the guy didn't even know who the hell Raymond Floyd was. He had no clue. But he had so much confidence in me. And we played 3 days. We played 3 matches, and I won the first 2, and he won the last.
Wow.
But I was kind of a fast gun. Yeah, half gun with travel, and I just play against guys and stuff. I mean, the best player in Dallas at the time was a guy named Dick Martin. He played at Tennyson Park all the time. Probably some of the old timers that are listening to your program knew who he was, and they always were trying to. They always said, we know you're good, but you hadn't played the little man yet. You haven't played the little man yet. And then the little man and I got tied in one day, and he quit on 14. Yeah, I knocked him out on 14.
Damn.
Yeah.
And I got a feeling you probably let him know it too, or were you a silent assassin? But you're a talker now. I mean, how did that work?
Oh no, I was a talker then. I said that's okay. I said we still got 4 holes to go. We can double up. No, he said I had enough. I mean, what are we going to do? Walk in from 14? What the hell? We might as well bet another 4 holes. and you have to understand that people will take that, but you have to understand that you don't have any pressure.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Because all you can do is break even.
Yep.
He's the one with the pressure.
Man.
Yeah.
I'm telling you.
Yeah, he's the one with the fun. Yeah.
So help me out with something, and we, if you don't mind, just a couple more questions. We appreciate it, man.
Sure.
Leave Trevino with us. So you mentioned the grip, the stance, the swing. Golf is such a mental game. You still have to do all that, but I'm always worried about my grip, where the ball is in my stance. Can you ever get that out of your head?
No, because that's the first thing you look at when you get down there. Yeah, what you got to do is what you got to do is try things. What happens to people when they go to the driving range is they go to the driving range every day and they never change anything, and they think that they're going to be everything. All of a sudden, the genie is going to hit them with a stick, and then I got it now. You got what? You don't own it.
Mm-hmm.
See, if you play golf, you got to own it, and if you own it, you won't forget it. And the only way you can own it is nobody can show it to you. You have to learn it. You have to dig it out. But I watch people every day at Preston Trails, and they go down to the driving range and they swing at them, and they swing at the ball, and they swing at the ball. And they're hitting grounders, and they're going dead left, and they're going dead right. And I don't see them change anything. I don't see them change the position of the hands. The hands high, the hands low, the ball's back.
Mm-hmm.
You're going outside the line a little bit. What are you doing? Where's the weight distribution? Is the weight on the right? Is it on the left? Are you open? Are you closed? There's so many things that you have to do and people don't know it. I can take a golfer and in 10 minutes show him more than he's ever thought that he knew. And then I want him to do it on his own because he owns it. You have to feel it and you have to know. I do it every day. I still, at 85 years old, I go out to the driving range and I try stuff. You understand?
Yes, sir.
I'll do different things with my hand. I want you to look at Scotty Scheffler. Scotty Scheffler's got one of the greatest grips in golf, and the mannerism that he has, he owns it. Watch how he holds the club up in the air when he grips it. He holds it in the air. He looks at the club face, and he looks at the club face to make sure it's square, and he puts his hand on it. He's got an interlocking grip, and he puts his hands on there. And then he comes down and puts it behind the ball, and he never moves his hand. Most people are milking that grip like they're milking a cow. You understand? They keep moving their fingers. No. Once that club is at the top, and you bring it down and put it behind the ball, you have to maintain that pressure that you have with both hands, and you don't milk them, because every time you milk them, that hand is going to go down underneath. It's going to go low. It's going to go underneath. It's going to go underneath, and you can't do that. He's got the Palmer. He's got the Arnold Palmer Ben Hogan grip. Is what he has. Where his right hand is weak on the club. He can see almost two knuckles on his right hand when he looks down at his grip. If you look down at your grip and you can only see, you don't see any knuckles on your right hand, you can't play. You can't play unless you're a blocker. Yeah, I was a blocker. You couldn't see knuckles on my hand. But I knew I was a blocker. I owned it. You know who plays like that, like I do? Watch him, Berger. The guy named Berger. Yep. He plays like that. And so the right hand has to be weak. The first thing that's going to happen to you if your hand's been underneath where you can't see a knuckle is the first thing's going to happen to you if you turn your right hand on top, you're going to see two knuckles, is the ball's going to go to the right. It's not going to slide. It's going to be pushed to the right. You understand?
Yes, sir.
So now your job is to keep that grip and then rotate the right hand before you hit the ball. And keep doing it until you straighten it out. And I guarantee you'll end up putting 15 yards on your ball. Yeah.
How much do you charge, Lee, for in-person lessons?
I think you just gave us a free lesson, no question.
You know, somebody would be calling me. Would be calling. I do that all the time down there. I do it to my members down at Preston Trails, and they'll be just killing it. They kill it, but you see, they don't own it. So they hit two balls, you turn around, you look back, and they're back to their old habit again. See, that's what happens. Nobody changes anything. They do the same thing. It's just like taking a lesson.
Yeah.
The worst thing you can do is take a lesson and then go play. Because as soon as the guy's beating you out of $5, you're going to go back to their old way.
What's comfortable, yeah.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yeah.
Two or three quick questions, and you can answer them as quickly as you want, of course. Rory, you win majors in spurts. Some won it over time, like Jack and Tiger, among others. But it seemed like Jordan Spieth won a couple early, Rory's. But it seemed like they win in spurts. What is keeping him from winning at Augusta? Because he had that big lead one day in the back nine, he fell apart.
Well, you know, he wasn't really playing that well when he came down, when he fell apart. But he's playing really well now. And he will be dangerous there. And he's putting. He's won two big tournaments already this year.
Yes, he has.
His putting is really come around. And that golf course is a dogleg left golf course. See, I like the left-handers there, and I like the left-handers there simply because Augusta is a left-hander's paradise. Because if a left-hander fades, he's got that course licked. Because most of all the holes go left except 18. You know, it's the only one that goes right. So you know, left-hander. This Bada, this Indian guy with a skinny little thing, with the glasses, he's going to be dangerous there. You watch what I tell you, and you know the other one's good. They'll be dangerous there. Is oh God, what is that? The guy from Scotland? Is he Scotland? Or is he Irish?
Lowry?
Is he Irish? McIntyre.
Yeah.
McIntyre.
Yeah.
But I'll tell you, if you look at the lefties that have won there, you know, Bubba, Mickelson's won 3 times. Weir from Canada won.
Yep.
Yeah, it's a left-hander's paradise if you get a left-hander. But Rory's putting better than Rory was having problems with his putting because he was pushing the handle forward. You can't push the putter forward from where it starts. If your putter starts at your belt buckle and the top of your putter's on your belt buckle, when you hit that ball, that top of that putter's got to go back towards your right pocket. In other words, you hinge it. You understand what I'm saying?
Yes, sir.
If that if that top of your putter is on your belt buckle and you shove it forward before you hit the ball almost to your left pocket, you're going to open the plate. You're not going to make any putts. See, and that's what Rory's conquered. I've watched him, and I watched him there at the TPC, and he's putting 100% better. Yeah.
Is LIV Golf good for golf?
Anything is good for golf. I think the problem that we were vulnerable, as you well know, on our tour. I think that Norman knew about it. Nicholson had mentioned it before he went over there. Because here's the problem. If LIV hadn't come along, the tour would still be the same way, right? Now think about this: who owns it?
The Saudis.
Who owns the tour?
The players do, don't they?
No, hell no. The players don't own it.
Oh.
What do you mean? If you leave there, what do you think they're going to give you some money when you leave?
Oh, no. Okay. All right.
You don't own anything. But you think about it. It was a nonprofit, and who owns it? And the only way they're combating the Saudis is they got the investors. You remember they put up $1.5 billion, and they got the investors. Here's the problem with LIV. Because we've matched them. Listen, they're playing for what? $4 million they win. They're playing for whatever, $20 million or whatever. TPC was $25 million this year.
Yes, it was.
You see, so now we've gotten to the point to where we tell them, come on. So now they what did they offer? I heard that they offered $1.5 billion. The tour turned them down. Here's the problem. The problem, I think, the whole problem is I think I'm not the brightest star in the sky, but I actually personally, and I haven't talked to anybody about this, but my feeling is that they're going to go white, and I'll tell you why. It's simply because they're going to have to get some new talent. You know, they got the same players. And most of those players that are on there can't play, as you well know. You look at the bottom part, and they got no talent. Nobody's coming. Nobody's coming because these guys are playing for just as much money, and they get to go to the Masters, and then they get to go to the U.S. Open, and it's much better for them now. It's much better for them over here on this tour. I don't think it'll go anywhere because you got to recruit some players.
Yeah, there's no farm system
Well, and they set the precedent.
Yeah.
They set the precedent. If a good player goes over there, he's going to want $300 million. You understand? They tried to re-sign Bryson, and Bryson, and I think he outpriced them. In other words, I heard that he didn't sign because he asked for, I don't know, a bunch or whatever. Here's the other thing. The hard thing's going to be is I think what the whole hiccup is at the moment, in my opinion, is that how do you get those players back on this tour? In other words, if they make a deal, they're going to want their players to come and play the regular tour. Okay, that's not fair to our players because they bypassed all that bonus money. They stayed on this tour, and they didn't take all those millions and millions of dollars that they were offered. They stayed here, and so now how do you get them back in? If it was me and I was the commissioner, I'd say I'm going to let one guy back in. I'll let one guy back in, and the others are going to have to go to the Corn Ferry if they want to get back in here. And you can't keep them from going to the Corn Ferry. But I would immediately take one and bring him, and that'd be Bryson. Yeah, Bryson will move the needle for you.
Yeah,
you see what I'm saying?
The way people look at him now, his image is transformed dramatically. Huge favorite of the crowd at the Open, the U.S. Open. Yeah.
Yes. He's like a John Daly, grip it and rip it.
Absolutely.
And so you have to understand that he's the only one that I would give a free ride to. I would say I'll take Bryson and let him come back right now, and I think the players would welcome him. Yeah, no question about it, because he helps them. He moves the needle. Yeah.
So yeah, that would mean Brooks and Rahm you wouldn't give a free ride to, right?
No. They can't. I don't. For the exception of their golf, they can't move the needle. I'm talking about moving the needle by interacting with the people and the media and all that stuff. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah, he's like Mark McGwire in the age of the home run, the ball being juiced. I'm not saying he is, but people would go watch it. People love the long ball. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Lee, last question: Freddie Couples, or Ernie Els? Who had the better, smoothest swing?
Oh no, Freddie Couples. He's starting to get a tummy though. Yeah. You know, and his swing hasn't changed a bit. I was watching him hit balls today at Augusta, and that guy is smooth as butter. Boy.
Oh, it is. It's sick.
And I'll tell you, that's another guy. That's your daughter. And, no, you don't want you wouldn't want your daughter dating him because he never wanted to get he wanted to stay single all those years. But he is a sweetheart. He's one of my best buddies. You know, we kind of hooked up together when he first came out here. But he's got that big. He owns that swing. He aims way left and hits right. You ever notice that? He aims left, hits right. He hits a high fade and he hits it a long way.
Hot knife and butter, no question.
Oh, he's a sweetheart. He is absolutely a sweetheart. Everybody loves him to death. Yeah, nicest guy.
Lee, you're the best, man, and I know you're busy giving us this time. It's great. Love having you on. Good luck with all the stuff you have in front of you.
All right. God bless you guys.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
The great Lee Trevino.